Yeah.
You didn't tell me, Fox.
We just went live right now.
You're looking like a mess. Let me get my.
You gonna bury this one too?
Let me get right here for this camera. Ain't nothing for you, Smoke. Nothing for you.
I'm gonna cry about it anyway.
He says share the wealth. I want a treat too.
Treats. He wants just nothing but treats in his life.
That's it. I feel like at any point in time that I am awake, I am deserving of treats.
And that's all I want to eat.
That's it. You don't even want the real food?
I mean, he eats the real food.
But he'd rather have the treats.
Of course he would. Crazy psycho like that.
Crazy psycho kitty.
Well, you have to do this thing.
Not the DoorDash gonna be here in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Fox.
Come on.
As hungry as I am, that's exactly what I need to hear.
Did you get your bone? What's that? Show off your bone.
Be careful now.
Yeah, it is 5 minutes down the road.
Be careful about showing your bone. That'll get you a charge in some states.
I mean, I don't think she
ain't got no. You said she ain't got no bone to show.
Who the fuck is this? Let's look at this.
What's that?
What the fuck is going on here?
I see that wouldn't have been enough treats for my cat.
Oh, it's just
A little snack.
Yeah, she already had her actual treats.
I was about to say yeah, cause
There's a fight? Why did they someone share a fight?
because it might be that Zion Williams fight.
No, it's 2 random dudes in a street fight.
No, I was about to say because Zion Williams was knocking motherfuckers' heads off the other day. Hey, what's up? You all right? Came looking for you.
Y'all want to huddle up, man? Y'all want to huddle up? Come closer to the fights. Y'all want to come closer to the fights?
Hey, stop trying to bury that, weirdo. Easy. Hey, knock it off. What you doing? Don't know me for that. Eat it up. You ain't gonna get your bone. Don't you fret that thing? You better leave him alone or he's gonna pop you in the face.
She said never. Right, it should be here in the next minute or two. It should definitely be here soon.
Oh, alright. Well, I thought it was good. It was, fun to watch. Probably should move this a little closer so you can actually hear us. Well, me, because I'm the only one in here. Smokey's sitting there looking. Mad he ain't getting no treats.
Here I come, Fox. My bad. I can wash my hands. Let's see. I know the people wondering where I went.
Oh, they can look at Smokey. They don't need you.
Oh, hurtful.
I said it.
Hurtful. Just because I know your cat look better than me, Fox. That's fine. You went and picked the prettiest 2 cats you could find.
Yeah, they're pretty pretty.
Right? Lady. What's your problem? What is your problem?
You ain't, no. You ain't no lap dog.
You not no lap dog, sweetie. I've been told to inform. No, you can't lick me in that spot. Now, Hazy. in between my cooch. It's a private area, girl. On my man with me down here, girl. You got to keep the kids.
Should be dropped off right about any second.
Ooh, work it out.
Coming down the street.
I'm over his head. Because I had the housewarming party last night that I completely forgot about that, man.
Of course.
And then I didn't feel too well. So all the food that they had at the party, I didn't even really get to eat. Because I felt terrible. So I haven't eaten since like yesterday for lunch. I am starving.
I eat a snack when I got home.
Since I'm trying not to start this conversation since I know this food gonna be here in a second. Child, when I tell you that cow sound like it's going through, that cow sound like it is going through.
But he goes, turn the light on, they can't see my face. I'm like looking right at it.
Well,
Yeah, they can, dude. Well, your combination of a taco?
Some
Yeah.
cream salsa.
Okay. Here's the viewers. Yep. Little lady. Let people come in.
I have water on my hands, so she's just getting it off for me.
Oh, isn't that nice of her? Quesadillas.
Thank you.
Paper towels. I eventually, when I'm able to come in, hey, can I come in?
She said, not before you pay the toll. You gotta scratch me first. You gotta come in and skip.
Alright, this ought to be. Hey!
Don't be like that.
I'm pretty sure this is my enchiladas.
Come here.
What you doing, silly? Okay, my extra quesadillas I wanted.
These are my cheese ones. I'm assuming.
Okay, so did yours come with like a burrito or something?
No, I got burritos.
I know, and you got a combination.
Oh, yeah.
So like you got two burritos. Like, I think
It's an extra.
I don't know what this is. That looks like a burrito and something. What was the combination?
Oh, I might have to look at it.
She's not gonna bite you. She better
There's a
not.
burrito, there you go. And then you get this taco, and this is his. Aha, that's what it is. This is your stuff.
Oh, okay.
To go with this.
So these are mine.
Yes. Yep. Some sauce. I've got some guac.
I don't need none of that. I just need a fork.
Need a fork.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good
You can
night.
sit at the table if you want.
You're
Yeah.
recording.
I'll move it over so it won't see you.
Oh no, you're just gonna sit on the floor like I did last
Join
time.
us.
No, I'm not sitting on the floor.
Right. I mean, you're not in the.
But just move this
Yeah, 'cause you're
stupid
not in the-
laptop
you're not
over
in the-
a little bit, and then he has enough space. Smokey, get your ass off the table.
So somebody can come eat.
God damn. I got one thing in my hand. You got a whole bunch of stuff.
You got a meal. Oh yeah, you're off. Chips, some guac. You don't eat guac, do you?
I do, but I don't need it. I just need that fork.
You keep saying that.
You ain't bring me one.
I know. I grabbed mine.
Remind me.
Oh, it's
Right, and that's what I saw. I saw you had yours. What about me?
Mm-hmm. More paper towel.
Absolutely.
How are
There you go. This, this food ain't long for the world, Fox.
No, dude.
It ain't long for this world at all.
You see what I got?
All right.
Salad, Fox.
No, that's enchiladas.
I said, it was like rabbit food.
Well, it's got some rabbit. Man,
Don't be ashamed, Fox. If you like rabbit food, you like rabbit food.
you know I do. Good rabbit food. But this is
start calling you Bugs. What is Bugs Bunny?
Grand Azteca. I knew he was coming.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna give her her thing. I got something for you.
So she's like, look, this food being passed around.
What's this? Come on. Come on. Peanut butter.
Oh, her little cone.
Yeah.
All right. So, Fox,
What?
needless to say, episode 2 was much better than the first one.
Wow.
Which is saying a lot because the first one was pretty good.
Yeah.
But now we can kind of talk about those theories that we started talking about a little bit Thursday. Because I think I agree with you on the oh, I'm dead. I am dead. I agree with you on the one thing about the whole sacred timeline thing kind of being a sham.
Uh-huh.
I do kind of, after seeing episode 2, I feel like I kind of agree with you on that. I think there are probably multiple timelines, and they're just basically deciding which ones they want to continue, or. But I still think it's fucking. I don't think it's the timekeepers.
I think Kane is gonna come from this.
I still think it's Kang. I think her talking about. Oh, that must be your talk to you. I think her talking about the other analysts that she has that is getting artifacts for her from different
Yeah, there's
timelines.
that theory that is Kang.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Like a younger version of Kang.
Yeah, and this is probably like the start of him being the big bad or whatever. So my guess is it's probably gonna be like a future that we have to like change. So say like maybe, but we probably won't find this out until like after we deal with the Doctor Strange stuff.
I think we're gonna get some of it, like a general idea of, hey, this is what we're gonna, like, I think Loki's gonna set up the future.
I mean, they did say that. They said that this series would have far more. It would have more. What am I trying to say? It's more substantial effects on the actual MCU than the first 2 series did, because we still got to get. We still got to get to the actual thing that breaks the multiverse, which I think it may end up being this thing.
This
Yeah.
is it.
Yeah,
This
like,
is what sets it back to being the multiverse that it's supposed to be.
yeah, she's not, because they're not going to be able to stop all of those branches before they redline. And I think once they redline, then that's what's probably going to split everything up and make it and bring the actual multiverse, because they some of the language that they've been using has like been very telling. Like they've used the actual term madness like 4 or 5 times. So that just makes me believe that the chaos is definitely going to stem from this episode. I mean, from this series. And there's only 4 episodes left, so
Yeah.
it's probably going to ramp up pretty quickly. I didn't think we'd see the Pompeii episode until like episode 4 or 5.
Yeah, that makes sense now. When you look at it and go, oh, that's how he figures it out.
Yeah,
Like, you're like, why the fuck would he do that?
right.
Like, okay, he's cool, he's, D.B. Cooper, that's funny. A drunk vet with Thor.
Right, but that was kind of more specific. Like, what reason do you have to go back to Pompeii, 79 AD?
Right before it blows up.
Right before Mount Vesuvius erupts. But the one question that I've been thinking about though is how does this play into Thor? Because
Well,
they're not supposed to be dealing with the multiverse in that movie. Thor is supposed to be.
it's probably its own separate thing. That's all.
Well, I mean, they've said that.
What you doing?
Like, look, I smell food.
Oh, that's why she got stuck.
Come here.
Where's Dummy?
Freeze him.
She got it stuck.
But they said that there would be. They said that there would be multiverse implications in pretty much every movie that comes out in this phase.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that's what I'm trying to think about is like since Loki is a Thor character, like I'm assuming it's gonna have a direct effect on the next Thor movie. I would imagine, especially if Loki's gonna be in the next Thor movie, which they haven't said it, but I mean obviously why would he not be?
You also have Helena.
Right. So he has to end. So he has to end at some kind of point that.
Well,
I mean, we know he's not going to die.
what if Thor doesn't come to his senses?
And like say he
He ends up running into his self, a different self that's not, or that's when Lady Thor. Maybe that's why Lady Thor comes into play, because she's the Thor. Like that's the Thor that Thor never really became Thor. He kind of died before it happened.
I still think they're going. I still think there's a Ragnarok explanation behind that. I think that's why she's the. I think that's why she's like the worst Loki, because I think she's actually Loki after he was killed by Thanos. I think his spirit reincarnated, and he is her essentially, but in another body. And I think they, I don't think they know that yet, because I think they're just assuming or looking at her as a variant that just branched off when he broke the timeline. But we may find out that
Well, she could be a variant in general, just because she took the body instead of Helen. Maybe in the future, actually, Helena's supposed to come get the body and it's supposed to play off.
And that's another thing too, yeah, because I was about to say, why would you have to bring Hela back? Like I personally was upset. I mean, but they didn't show a body, and that's like the #1 rule in movies. If you don't see a body, the bitch ain't dead.
Yeah, but her power was Asgard.
But I mean, but Asgard is reborn. Like, and technically, Asgard isn't the place; it's in the people. So as long as the Asgardian people exist, like they can, the ones that draw their power from Asgard can still have that power as long as the people exist, because it's not so much about the actual place. But, and that's another thing that they got to touch on too, because in the background, you know, they've been basically building New Asgard in Norway.
Right.
So, and also, what's a Valkyrie? She's gonna be king. And they said specifically that she would not be a queen. They said specifically that she's gonna be king Valkyrie, which I guess I get why they're trying to do that.
I know why.
Well, I mean, essentially, she's gonna be probably the first LGBT character, or at least the first one that we see.
I thought Captain Marvel was.
Well, that's why I said the first one we see, because
She hasn't done anything.
yeah, she hasn't done anything LGBT technically.
Yeah.
But Tessa Thompson has
she had
said,
the hops for Homegirl's mom.
Yes, and Tessa Thompson has absolutely said that she's supposed to be looking for a queen in this movie. So I'm assuming she's gonna be the first version of an LGBT character we see. Because they are definitely already calling. Oh, she got that shit figured out. They're already calling her King Valkyrie. So I mean, you know, because she said something about, she was like, every king needs a queen or something like that when they was announcing the movie, and that was kind of like the setup for what she was gonna be doing. But I'm thinking like there's a whole lot of other shit that's got to go on in that movie because my guess is Thor is probably still gonna be with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he's running around, but
Right.
it could be both because they're both like, who knows?
I think they're gonna be in both movies. Like the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie will probably have Thor in it, and the Guardians of the Galaxy will probably be in Thor 4.
It can't not, man. They're both draws.
Yeah, I was about to say though that group is just
Yeah.
a good group together. Like they're dynamic. I love the dynamic between Thor and Star-Lord.
Yeah. Especially since you don't like Star-Lord.
Right? Because I am not a fan of Chris Pratt anymore.
Fuck.
Well,
Great movies.
yes, that is one of the things about it that definitely sucks. Like he's in some of my favorite movies.
And he was like,
Because I gotta watch him in Jurassic World next year.
I don't know. You can't miss that because the dinosaurs are
Right.
the fucking goddamn planet.
Exactly. They're running the world now.
Yeah.
Did you see the oh well, it wasn't any actual footage, but they did they just released their first teaser for that movie, for Jurassic World. And he said the dinosaurs are gonna have feathers.
The ones that have that, yeah.
So my guess is, I'm assuming they're gonna say like it's probably gonna go forward in the future, like sometime since
I bet you they just do it.
Well,
They're
this-
just like, this is what they actually look like. Fuck it, we're just gonna do it.
I don't know, I think they gotta make it.
Because they did it with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. They like made it so he walked like he was supposed to. They did
Yeah,
it
but that's
like
different. Like
that.
that's
a little
different.
Yeah, it's a little easier to get away with.
Yes, the feathers thing though, I think you would have to explain. I think the way they're gonna explain it is that
I mean, you gotta explain it to the white people. That's who you gotta explain it to. The people who looked at those stupid books in the 50s and read it and went, hey, this is what dinosaurs are supposed to look like. Why do dinosaurs have feathers?
I mean, sir. I think they're just
Am I
gonna
wrong?
say. I think they're just gonna say that because they're in the wild,
They actually go back to their original state.
right? They
Okay.
reverted back to because
Because they've always been inhabited, or now they're actually on the planet besides the island.
right. I was about to say because they've been basically genetically restricted, I guess you could say, because they've been like turning down certain genes, not letting them breed, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So now they'll be able to breed and do what they want. And I think that's where the feathers are going to come in at. I think it's going to be weird though, because how do you make feathered dinosaurs scary?
I mean, they're fucking dinosaurs. They're still scary. They have teeth this fucking big.
Yeah, but they're gonna have feathers. So
No, they're not feathered in a sense like a bird. They're feathered. They're scattered. It's more.
But still, I
they're
mean,
still scaly. They're still.
that's what I'm saying. The feathers are gonna make them look more bird-like.
Yeah.
And people don't fear birds.
You would if they looked like that. You would if they were big.
Right.
If an eagle was the size of a pterodactyl, you'd be fucking terrified of it.
Maybe, but at the same time,
Dude, hawks are fucking unbelievable. Thank God they're little. And they don't fucking like us.
I'm telling you, I think that's what it's gonna be. I think they're gonna revert back to their wildness. They're gonna have feathers, but I don't know how scary that's gonna be. I still find
I mean, it's
I'm conflicted because they said it's supposed to be the scariest movie of the franchise.
Yeah, because there's probably going to be a lot of killing.
Yeah. I bet there's going to be a lot of death. There's probably a lot of regular death, like a lot of random people in their houses getting attacked. and shit like that.
if anything, it should be like fucking Godzilla, where just Because you're not gonna see it. It's just gonna be people dying
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's what it should be. I
Because
mean,
if you have a giant brontosaurus walking through a fucking city, or walking through a village,
Yeah,
or a
just
town, it's just gonna
crushing
step on
houses and
houses. Yeah, crush people.
now that would be dope if they did that.
I mean,
That would be dope.
but why would a brontosaurus go towards houses when it has planes on the other side?
Well, I mean, also you don't know the story behind it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. You know how it got to the house.
Yeah, where are they at? And because the area that they got released at, it was in the woods. But you gotta imagine, like, you know, they're gonna start to spread out. The way they made it seem is they made it seem as if like the dinosaurs are gonna, like they're gonna be like secretly increasing their numbers, and by the time we figure out what's going on, it's gonna be too far
got
gone.
away.
Yes, like as in like
It's basically the same sense of people putting boa constrictors and shit like that in Florida.
yes, they become an invasive species.
Before they know
and-
it, boom, we have a problem.
Yes.
Your kids are getting fucking snatched off the street by velociraptors.
Right, and
Yeah.
I think that's what it's gonna be. Based.
Sneaky shit too, because the dinosaurs aren't stupid. They're gonna understand that they gotta pray at night.
Right.
They start until they become dominant. Then they're just gonna be like, "Fuck it, we're gonna do it."
I was about to say yeah, because the first they'll be timid, scared of humans, and like hiding and shit until they figure out like, oh, we can fuck these motherfuckers up. That's gonna be dope. I can't wait for that to come out. But back to Loki though. I think they're gonna do. I think that Ragnarok situation may come back up, and I also think that this may be the one where we get the Doctor Strange cameo. Because
I don't
I
know.
think-
Is Doctor Strange anywhere close to these people? Does he
well,
have
his
timekeepers? Because he deals with time.
his main job is to protect our reality, and my guess
Which
is
one
her.
99999, like
Yes.
100,099. Yeah.
But my guess is
They
with,
could have made it easier. They didn't have to go with fucking 6 numbers.
especially being that in the comics, most of this shit happens on like Earth 616 or something like that.
606 or so,
It
yeah.
could have been like 626 or some shit. It didn't have to be out of numbers. You are
It
correct.
could have been 4 numbers. It could have been 3.
But I think shit, what was I talking about? The
Yep.
fucking that peanut butter. I don't remember what the fuck I was saying.
Well, it's peanut butter with sardines and turkey.
Ew. I like sardines, but that sounds like a terrible combination.
I'm sure it is for you and me.
Oh,
For her, it's everything.
right? Apparently, 'cause she running that boy up under that damn refrigerator.
Well, it's also for us. So.
What's the tea is Fox. I think her releasing all those bombs and fucking up the timelines. Like Doctor Strange has to get some kind of notification of that. Like he has to be notified in some way, I imagine, because
Well,
it's affecting our reality.
But it might even just be if she drops the bombs, the war starts because obviously time it's sporadic, so the chaos war would start quickly.
I don't know if that's what happened, because think about it. Like those charges are set to reset the timeline.
Yes, which is causing the nexus point because it's deleting everyone in that timeline at that moment.
I mean, I guess you could call it chaos. Yes. So I guess I see what you're saying.
It's causing some kind of nexus point in the timeline, which makes it break.
Right. I was
The
just
original
thinking in the
timeline
sense
keeps
that,
going.
I was just thinking in the sense that people and things would get erased, so it probably would be an issue of like the regular everyday people like us not knowing what the fuck is going on, but somebody that is like powered or super powered like Doctor Strange, like he would know because he knows what our reality should be, so he knows anytime it changes. And I think that's what he's gonna get alerted to, like people in places being wiped off the map basically because she did those reset charges.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's places where he's gonna come into play. Yeah.
Well,
Because-
absolutely, because they said like out of the charges she set, like 4 or 5 of them were in different places in different times in the U.S. So
Yeah.
my
There's 2 in Tennessee for some stupid reason.
right, I'm
That might be to
assuming.
deal with fucking. Maybe that's where they're gonna base the. Where was Xavier's school? It was in New York, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Maybe they're gonna base it in Texas. Like,
It was upstate New York
maybe they'll base it somehow hidden in Kentucky or something like that.
in a different state.
But it'll start people. It'll create more Nexus beings, which means there will be beings because that's what the war is about. Is basically it sounds like Nexus beings basically fight over who controls the ultimate timelines, because everyone's fighting for the end.
Maybe that's what happens, and maybe Kang steps up out of all of this, and
I think he's gonna get created from this. I of the belief that it's gonna be this that creates Kang. They've been doing everything. Maybe Kang came before, and the war was them destroying Kang. I think that's what it's gonna be. And it's
he comes
crazy
from the
'cause
future.
I understand it, but the future's already written.
Like, but I think because of his origin story and who he is, I think he's either already in play, or, I mean, to be honest, I think that's what it is. I don't think there's any other explanation because
I think he's not playing.
because he was born in the future, and his whole thing was that
okay.
he travels the timelines back
Let me
and
give it
forth,
in this
and
sense. He's in play in the sense that the timekeepers have been doing everything they can to make sure that his timelines never appear, because they know no matter what, if they have these specific timelines in this wave that they see, and they know that one doesn't let him come, and every time you break the timeline or you cause the chaos, he appears, because obviously he appears at the end of one of the timelines, comes back, starts conquering timelines like crazy, and then he becomes a major guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's a probably maybe it's a fight between these two people. You know, because they know the end. They've picked out the 5 specific timelines in their mind. I know it's more than that, but 5 specific timelines where Kang never exists every single time.
but that's the
Because the
thing.
Fantastic Four is not in our timeline, right? And Fantastic Four has to be here for him to exist.
But that's the thing though. Because of how powerful he is, like he's not bound to any one timeline. Like because of how powerful, like he's.
No, I know, but you're not getting my point. My point is there's multiple timelines. Every time it resets, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be timelines where he's not created. That's just how infinite timelines work. So the timekeepers have found those specific ones where they know that he's never created because Fantastic Four doesn't exist. The accident with Reed Richards never happens. So they never, so they've got those specific ones, and what she's done now is she's broke the timeline, so they start fracturing again, which means you'll get 50,000 timelines that have the Fantastic Four and 50,000 timelines that don't. And out of those 50,000 that have them, 49,000 have Kang, and 1,000 don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the premise that they're kind of setting up.
Where my phone at?
I don't know.
Because I think I got some information to contradict that, but I gotta look it up. Because at first I gotta find out is Kang a Nexus being or not.
That's a good question.
Because if
He is. I'm sure. Again, each timeline has its own Nexus being.
not true.
I thought that's what it was. Every timeline has its own being that's Nexus. It could be one, blah blah blah.
No, like you have to. I need my phone so I can look up the supplemental information to back up what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking my phone is still out here.
Yeah, he was Earth 6311. He was a Nexus being.
Right.
Odin was a Nexus being in Earth 9260. Merlin in Otherworld. Vision in 90110. So what I'm saying is, That means that Kang was in. But what if Kang never was born in Earth 90110?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what
Well, I
I
know-
was thinking, because he is a Nexus being. That I think that
Well-
means he can and does exist in every universe, in every timeline.
Hold on, let me look it up. Okay, it says here they're rare individuals. Oh, sorry, rare individual entities with the ability to affect probability and thus the future, therefore altering the flow of the universal time stream. These beings are referred to as Nexus, act as keystones of the multiverse, and are crucial in its ultimate coherence and stability. Nexus beings are vigilantly watched over by the cosmic forces such as time variance, timekeeper, blah 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 blah. I think he is a Nexus being, like you're saying, and they're doing everything they can to keep him from getting power. And that's why they have set the timelines, because every other timeline they lose power at the end because he takes over. If you let him loose.
Right. I mean,
So I think they're like China. They're basically China for the universe. They found the ones that make them, keep them in power, and they make sure that nothing ever. And I think there's theories out there where everyone in there has been brainwashed, just like Wanda was, brainwashed her people, which is obviously feasible as fuck. So all those people could be humans that just come from different times and different universes throughout, that the Time Lords just grabbed
yeah.
and bestowed some powers.
I mean, I just feel like with the timekeepers, I just don't feel like they're still around or a thing. I think the fact that they haven't shown them, nobody knows where they are, nobody's ever seen them. I just feel like Kang done already fucked them bitches up, and he running shit behind the scenes, and our girl, who is basically his girlfriend.
I think, well, she is in the comic. You're right.
And she's, I think she's keeping the lid on shit. And shit is probably gonna hit the fan, and I think that's how it gets exposed that Kang has basically been in charge this whole time. And he probably killed the timekeepers or some shit, or imprisoned them. And he basically been running shit.
I mean, we're gonna find out, but I think that's gonna be in the future. I think the chaos that she's causing is going to bring Kang to, because he doesn't show. He's technically not supposed to be showing up until Ant-Man and Wasp.
That's in the movies.
Yeah, I know.
He could definitely be in this show still.
You think they're gonna release? They're gonna have a fucking. I mean, I'm not saying that he couldn't, but I'm just saying, you think they're gonna have a big part of him in this movie? No, they're gonna. Or this show, it's not gonna be they're gonna.
It doesn't have to be a big part, and he might not even get shown. But I still think by the end of this, I think we're gonna find out that he has been making moves behind the scenes this whole time, and we'll just know that his shit is gonna ramp up when Ant-Man and Wasp come out. Because I personally think that Thanos dying or getting rid of Thanos, I think that was the thing that made that brought him to Earth to try to conquer Earth, or to our timeline. I think he been watching shit, and he knew, like, okay, right after Thanos, they're gonna be vulnerable.
It's not about our timeline. It's about all the timelines.
But
Or
that's
anything
what I'm
else.
saying. I think we're gonna find out that he's already been fucking with the other timelines.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just disagree. I think we're gonna find out that he's the reason why the timekeeper, he was the reason the war happened in the first place. A long time ago. And the timekeepers have been keeping mutants and other things from happening to keep him from existing.
And
Because then they can bring in mutants.
I get
they
why
can
you're
bring all
saying
stuff
that,
in.
but like he's not like it's. I'm just trying to find a precedent for it, like because everything they do is rooted in some form of the comics. So I'm just trying to figure out where would that come from, because technically, in the comics, like the timekeepers are really no match for him. Like there's really not much that they could do to stop him from doing what he wanted. Like they're not more powerful than him. Like.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, the war, that doesn't mean they didn't win the war. I mean, they could have won the war. He might not have been his full self. You know what I'm saying? They might have caught him before he was his full self and brought the timelines down, or, I don't know, who knows? I'm probably wrong. You might be right.
No, Fox, I'm all about finding the evidence to support it.
I don't have any
I don't have
evidence.
an issue with it.
I have no idea who Kang is. I know that he travels through time. I know he's a Nexus being, but at the same time, I understand what they're doing now is they have literally taken the infinite timelines that would occur on any regular moment, because that's what happens, it sounds like, because the choice of me deciding not to go this way creates a new timeline. Like, that's a Nexus point. That's why you see that dude get wiped out that's just some fucking punk kid. Because he decided not to go to work the day he was supposed to go to work. And they wiped him out. They wiped out his timeline, and they wiped him out. Because they were like, no, that's a possibility that something could come from that could challenge us. And I'm just saying, whatever the war was, maybe Kang was maybe it was a greater war than just Kang and the Timekeepers. It was Kang, Timekeepers, and other people that, you know, the Celestials and all these other people, and the Timekeepers are the ones that just happen to trick everyone and win. They win it with some shiesty shit. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Because people have done shiesty shit and won shit. You know how the world
Yeah,
works.
I just don't feel like they're that important though.
What?
The timekeepers. I just don't feel like they're that important to.
But they're a basis for Kang to go after.
No.
Like, why are you
No.
trying to create the multiverse?
But see, that's the thing. I don't think that is Kang's intentions. I think if the comics are any indication, I think what we don't know is that in the future Kang has already conquered Earth. He's sitting at the end as the last one standing. He's conquered all the timelines, and I think we are living in or experiencing his conquest. And I think what it is basically is like, you could say maybe he's already been in other timelines, fucking other timelines up, and he's just not going
how
to
does he
ours.
exist if there's no time? Well, I guess maybe there are time. We're not seeing our timeline doesn't have the Fantastic Four. That's basically it.
But
So
that's
he
the
wouldn't
thing.
exist in our timeline.
No, that's not true. The Fantastic Four don't exist in our timeline yet.
Do you think they could just make them younger?
Well, that's the thing. I think it depends on how they introduce the Fantastic Four. Either they're gonna give us an origin story and they're gonna be young,
I think they're gonna give us.
or they're gonna give
It's
us.
too big of a fucking thing for people. People want to see how they do it. I would pay to see it, even though there's been 3 of them. I'd still pay to see another one because I want to see how they're gonna bring this into the MCU. I want to see how they're gonna say, "This is how it was." If it's just multiverse shit, then no. We don't need that.
I think honestly, I think it's gonna be a situation where they say an event that we've already witnessed is what gave them their powers. They may go back and show it to us, but I think when we get introduced to the Fantastic Four, I think they'll probably already have their powers. They'll probably
What
they
if
may
they are-
flash back to
What if it's just like, here you go. How about the reason why they weren't here is because they travel through space.
and that's another thing too.
They do travel through space, so they might not have. When the whole Avenger thing's happening, when Loki attacks, they're already gone into space doing something else. You're right. They could definitely bring it in because they could say this event caused it back here,
Right.
and then they went to space to deal with some fucking, Silver Surfer shit or something like that. And when they came back, everything, because it's relative. That's why Captain Marvel, she's gone for decades. Decades. before she comes back into the picture. And it's not little until it's already over with. Like, she doesn't even have any idea what's going on. So it's like they could be completely if they've never contacted Tony Stark because Tony Stark hasn't flipped yet. Because remember, they probably didn't want to deal with him when he's young, before he has the whole Iron Man moment. If you're the Fantastic Four and you're doing good in the universe, are you gonna deal with Tony Stark, the dude that's making weapons?
True, but at the same time,
You may on a small level, but you're not gonna let him know your secrets.
I was about to say, at the same time, I think they, they operate in two different realms in the sense that,
Both in the same city.
I mean, true, but still, you got Spider-Man that's in the same city with them, and he
Well, they did.
rarely comes in contact with them.
I know, but they did a really good job because the city's fucking huge.
I mean,
But they did a really good job of bringing Spider-Man into the MCU as a young kid, discovered by Iron Man. And if what I didn't even think about the space travel thing, because to be honest with you, they should have space travel before Tony Stark did. You would assume, if Reed Richards is as smart as he is,
absolutely.
so he would have space travel already, and he could be in space when this whole thing's happening. Because they're gonna explain why the fucking what's their names didn't do anything either. The ones that were supposed to deal with the deviant.
Maybe.
Where were they? Where were they in the
They don't know who they are.
Where were they in the comic? The
Well,
Eternals.
now, in the comics,
The Eternals. Not,
they're from the they're basically the same people. They're from the same area, so to speak. The Eternals,
are the good ones, and the other ones are deviants.
Yes.
Which is Thanos people.
right? But deviant was just a gene situation. So like,
One's pretty and one's not.
right?
Yeah.
That's basically all it was. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming, I guess they were bad because
One looks like trolls. One that wants to dominate and is angry and wants to dominate the world. The other one wants to help it become something.
right.
Yeah. I saw one thing on it, so I mean it's, but they have to explain why they didn't help stop Thanos, because obviously they should be powerful enough. They were created by the Celestials. in a
Yeah.
sense. They're basically Infinity Stones in themselves. What did you say? Leonard Tippett is a Nexus being.
I'm dead. I know he mad. Because I didn't even know that. I know he mad. Did you know that was the dude who originally played Thanos?
Why? Oh, in the first one?
That's who they cast. In the first one, in the 2012 one, he played, he was uncredited, but he was him in that end credit scene. And then they told him, "Oh no, we're gonna go with Josh Brolin."
Yeah, it was Josh Brolin.
It was.
I mean, he worked.
He played fucking Thanos and Cable.
Yeah, it worked. I must say, his voice is really lends to Thanos in that sense.
Yeah, he had a very Thanos-like voice. I will say that.
That's why he wins. It's just Thanos.
And when he said, "I am inevitable," that's one of my favorite lines from the movie, even though it was a lie. Because they woke her ass out and then dusted her right on down.
It's crazy that he's just a normal human. Kang. He has no powers. He didn't get anything from his family. Well, I guess they wouldn't pass him on, but he has no real powers.
He don't need no powers. He can time travel.
Well, I mean, that's his powers. Is he's super smart, but he didn't have any actual like.
And he's a master tactician. Oh, matter of fact, Kang is the reason that the Scarlet Witch and Vision are together.
Why?
He was supposed to stop. He was supposed to kill Wanda to keep her from ever having children because of how powerful she was. But instead of killing her, he basically led her into a relationship with Vision.
Not in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not no. MCU. MCU was just Avenger shit, basically.
I just need them to.
So basically, Kang is the inspiration for Rick.
Yep. I can see that.
Because there was a console of Kangs. Crazy. Why does someone that's hey Hazy, knock it off. Why does someone who's so that comes from such good blood turn into such a conquering fool? Hey.
Well, I don't know what they're gonna do. That shit sound it's convoluted as hell, Fox. I have no idea how they gonna make sense of all that shit. No idea at all. And then I also still don't know, like, what about Wanda and her children?
That's what she's looking for right now.
Right? At first I thought it was her searching for her children that was gonna break the multiverse.
No. It's this. Kang keeps a trophy room at the edge of space and time. Contains all the shit he got from villains and heroes. Captain American shields, Doc Ock, Iron Man is Jesus Wolverine skeleton.
And I came with a bad bitch. She was a bad bitch. They be died 2 or 3 times. He,
The longest time King has been the president was over 136 hours when assisting Dr. Loki. Kang is aware of the misconception about him being the father of Reed Richards, although it is technically the opposite. Hey, hey.
girl, what was that?
So crazy, he's so powerful.
It's his intelligence. He got the intelligence, obviously, you know, from his dad.
What's up? Easy. Grab it, let's go.
I have no idea what they're gonna do next, though, Fox.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna set up, figuring they're gonna start showing you who fucking Lady Loki is. Did you get it all? You got it all. That's the first step. Who's Lady Loki?
I gotta see. I don't know. She they wouldn't like none of the Lokis are ever like outrageously powerful. So while she is a threat, I don't think she's that much of a threat.
Being able to travel through time, though.
Well, she's only doing it through the gear that she stole from them. And if you got that same gear, then you can follow her. But
I mean, if Kang's in the, because time travel happens through the quantum realm, and there's rumors that he's gonna be. That's where he'll be. He'll have the world of quantum realm, and they're gonna step on him actually,
step on it on accident.
like show up in them, and like be exploring a quantum realm somewhere, and then end up in his realm, and he's gonna get pissed off. Who knows?
Hey,
Yeah.
I need you to roll me another joint. This shit's got.
So what?
Is that wrong?
I mean, I thought they were gonna throw them in the darkness, but they. Oh,
There's something wrong with it.
I thought they were getting thrown in the darkness, but they fucking took this big old fucking thing, you know, rod with all red at the end and stabbed his eyes and his mouth out. He's like, you'll hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, like be in complete darkness.
Girl, I know you got him in there traumatized because he don't watch no shit like that.
I asked him in the beginning, I said, are you cool with horror movies? And he said during the day, but I do have it dark in there.
Did I tell you?
Oh, are you okay?
I'm fine.
He's fine, don't worry about him.
I'm fine.
Trying to close all the blinds and watch the
So he was born in the 30th century.
Mm-hmm.
in Earth 6311 when there was no Dark Ages. So Earth, the reality had been way.
Okay. Well, supposedly, I didn't even think about this. There are some people that feel like or think that you remember that little city in the quantum realm that we saw in Ant-Man? Some people think that may be where the TVA is.
He also might be a descendant of Dr. Doom.
He thought he was in the comics. He thought I think it was found out that he wasn't, but he thought he was.
Didn't they
related.
think they were the same person at
Yeah.
that point?
Yeah, because he started finding out that he had he started finding out about the other copies of himself, and so I guess that would have made sense that he thought he might have been a copy of him or some other universal version of him. Because there's like 5 or 6 different Kangs that are important between like Immortus, actual Kang the Conqueror, and then Ramatut. Like, he has like 4 or 5 different personas that are.
What's up? See the sadness in her eyes?
What is she? Where she want to go in the living room?
Okay, I guess.
She said, "Y'all ain't paying me no attention, and there's people in here."
They're not gonna pay attention to you either. So how about you go outside and pay attention to Odin? Come on.
Go get you some fresh air.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. You know it feels good out there, girl.
Oh. Yeah, who knows? Only the people there know. I'm probably wrong. I was wrong on one vision, completely off. But it really kind of left things kind of like, well, obviously this isn't the one that's going to show you what the fuck's happening.
Oh, this
Because they couldn't drop it on you, like, hey, there's this multiverse without explaining the multiverse.
Oh, these are old articles. I'm gonna have to read these articles. Well,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's wrong. I was looking at something and they were talking about Galactus possibly being the next big villain. I mean, which I guess could work if Kang is only going to be like a mini villain.
To start.
Yeah, and then it's Galactus, but
Yeah, but Kang would be a bigger villain than Galactus. Galactus just eats worlds. Kang conquered time.
bro, like I need you to understand who the fuck Galactus was.
Yeah, he devours.
Yes.
He's been there since the dawn of time. He devours planets.
Yeah, it's much more to Galactus than that. Galactus is one of the most powerful Marvel characters. And then also too, he's huge in the Fantastic Four comics.
Yeah.
So with them coming, that kind of made more sense to me that. Oh, that's one of the reasons he's so powerful. He's the first and oldest living entity in the universe. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The physical metamorphosed embodiment of a cosmos. Each species can only see Galactus in a form that they can comprehend, similar to their race or deity of their religion.
Oh, so that's why he looks like the robot.
Yeah, he can also appear as a humanoid star. Oh, and then the fucking Silver Surfer. Well, there it is. Supposedly, Reed Richards speculated that Galactus may have been created from the greatest source of energy in the universe. Galactus was a bad bitch now. I just gotta let you know now.
I mean, he's giant.
He's strong as fuck though. The world here. Well,
Oh, he looks like a human.
well, he used to be human. Galactus.
He used to be human.
Yeah, he was once human. See how that happened? Because I know that to be a fact, but I don't know why.
The sole survivor of the sixth incarnation of the multiverse. He was a humanoid named Colin, born in a previous incarnation of Earth 616 on the planet Ta, a parasite-like world whose civilization is said to have been the most advanced of any known universe of that time. Oh, most advanced of the known universe at that time. However, the sixth infinity and all its universes were in the final stages of collapse due to the multiversal renewal cycle being consumed by the abstract entity known as Black Winter. He thinks of planets nothing more than food.
Oh, wait. I wonder is Ego still alive?
He could be.
Because
There's definitely these timelines are going to create places where he is.
that's how Thor finds about Galactus is when Galactus comes in conflict with Ego.
Oh, Galactus and Odin fought.
Yep. Right, and that should give you a sense of how strong he is.
Galactus and Odin fought by using their telekinetic and telepathic powers because if they had fought physically, the power they both possessed would have been able to destroy the universe.
Yep.
Odin was able to render Galactus unconscious by headbutting him before falling into a Odin sleep. After regaining consciousness, Galactus proceeded to attack Asgard in search of the sea, despite the fact Silver Surfer was trying to stop Galactus from proceeding it with the
Mm-hmm. So now, Fox, don't be holding Galactus. Because Galactus is that bitch.
Yeah, but he's so fucking big, it's weird.
Well, he can, like, manipulate his size and things like that. So he don't have to be big. He can be small.
But how do you beat him if he's so fucking big?
I mean, he's been beaten quite a few times. I mean, but most of the time that I remember, he was beaten by being starved to death, essentially. They basically found a way to keep him from consuming planets. And because obviously, he gets weaker when he hasn't eaten. This bitch is alive like a motherfucker, Fox.
He absorbs energy.
And he can also project it. And then
Cosmic genius. Galactus, as the oldest known living entity in the universe, possesses one of the universe's absolute most advanced minds. Reed Richards has admitted an inability to fully comprehend even the most rudimentary devices found within Galactus's world ship Ta-2.
Yeah, he got a ship that's shaped like a Loki strip.
The world's ship itself is a solar-sized construct that is said to surpass any natural world in beauty and splendor, and yet within its computers it's contained knowledge so unfathomable and far-reaching it can grant awesome power to those who come in contact with it.
Yeah, I told you Galactus is that girl.
How the hell did the Fantastic Four beat him?
With the help of the Silver Surfer.
Oh.
The first movie. First movie was right as far as the story. The first movie was Doctor Doom. The second movie was Galactus.
It was? Oh
Yes.
yeah, because it's Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm. They got it right as far as the story, because the Silver Surfer,
But it wasn't he like a cloud?
like in the comic.
No, in the movie.
No, he looked like a robot kind of. He was metallic. And he had a silver surfboard.
Go ahead.
I just remember that one scene where
Oh yeah, he does look like himself. He's just huge.
I remember there was one scene where it was just his board and he came up out of the board, like materialized from the board. That was like the coolest thing they did with him. But they got the story right though, because in the comics he betrayed Galactus and that was how they ended up defeating him.
Holy shit.
Oh, and then
See,
that's another.
this is who can, they believe this is who can kill him by themselves.
Galactus?
Who can defeat Galactus?
Probably Thanos. Maybe the Beyonder.
Single-handedly.
The Beyonder, maybe.
Mr. Fantastic.
How?
This is one from the Fantastic Four superhero team, and probably the most dying example of characters who defeated Galactus with sheer intellect. In fact, he alone can beat the World Eater without help from the rest of the Fantastic Four team, and it is all thanks to his awesome brain cells.
Oh, well, okay.
Silver Surfer.
And that's probably because to even become the Silver Surfer, he has to receive some of his power.
Braxis.
Oh, yeah, because essentially Galactus is the only thing strong enough to keep Abraxas at bay. So as long as Galactus exists, Abraxas is locked away. But he's basically another world eater like Galactus.
Masato Mikabashi.
Ooh, sir.
Yep.
He embodies the destruction of the Marvel Universe.
Doctor Strange. Iron Man.
I don't remember him being in Iron Man.
No, but they say he can beat him.
But it's the intelligence thing.
Oh, Galactus Buster suit.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Okay, that makes sense. Because that's very, very Iron Man. He builds a suit. As soon as he get beat by somebody, he goes and builds a suit designed specifically for that person. And to be honest, I watched a video. Somebody did a video of that Iron Man's suits through the years, and it's actually pretty cool what the fuck they did with that shit. Any way that he was attacked in the early parts, in the early movies, like he basically built like countermeasures for that shit in like subsequent movies, because it was like, I think it was like Iron Man 2 where he was fighting Mickey Rourke, and he hit him with them things and electrocuted him, and it fucked his suit up real bad. But you don't see it, and you don't see the payoff until like I think it was Infinity War, I think, before you see it again. But his suit got hit with lightning, and instead of it fucking his suit up like the electricity did the first time, he was able to absorb it and redirect it.
Yeah. Franklin Richards actually cut them out.
That's like the smartest mind in the.
Franklin Richards turned him into a herald.
That's the smartest mind in the Marvel universe.
Thanos.
I figured Thanos was in there. Because despite the bullshit, Thanos is pretty fucking smart. Like in the comics.
Well,
Like-
Thanos, or Galactus went after Thanos during the Infinity Stone.
Supposedly, yeah, and Thanos whooped his ass.
Yeah.
supposedly, I don't remember, but supposedly there's multiple accounts where Thanos has whooped Galactus' ass.
The Beyonder.
Yeah, I knew he would be on it. The Beyonder is one of the most powerful Marvel characters, period. And I don't even remember what he could do.
He's just otherworldly race. He is almost like a god to less powerful civilizations. He holds numerous competitions. The sheer interest to find out more about sports and heroes on the planet.
Yeah, he was the reason for Secret Wars.
The one above all.
That's the most powerful Marvel character.
His name kind of gives it away, doesn't it? The one above all is in fact the God of gods, but he doesn't appear in the comics all the time. A number of times, this Marvel character has traveled to the comics world. Physically can be counted. Okay.
I mean, you just named.
I guess that makes sense if it can be counted.
You just named 1, 2, 3, 4. You just named 4 characters that are on the top 16 list of strongest MCU characters. And of the 4 you named, 3 of them were in the top 10.
Oh, these are the 10 that just defeated him. Those 10 people defeated him. There are more who can beat up the Celestial Marvel being the length of the list proves itself. Galactus can be easily defeated. He does not need groups of superheroes to do that. The world leader can be tackled by most of these. All that hype about Galactus being an invincible world seems like a joke. Yeah, it's probably because, you know, he's coming out of civilizations that don't understand who he is.
And then also too, like, I mean, he got to be beat, like, you know.
Or he eats more.
Right. So you know you have to defeat him. So I get, you know, that he's been defeated, but it's like you have to look at how he's been defeated. Like, it's not like most of the time, you know, it has to be some super intelligent ass plan that's elaborate as fuck. Or you need all these different dominoes to fall in place. Like, you know, it's not like you just run up on him and say, oh, I'm stronger than you, so let me just whoop your ass. Like, you know, you really have to strategize and come up with a way to beat his ass.
You can't be the Hulk.
Right. Because he would just try to smash him to bits. Which, I don't know, I don't even know if that would work, because if he doesn't kill the Hulk, I mean, he's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. So, like, will he eventually match power levels with him if he doesn't die?
Well, he's immortal, so he can't die.
I mean, he can die. I'm almost certain the Hulk has died a few times.
Not the Hulk. I meant Galactus.
Oh, well, no. Okay, different story. I was about to say, yeah, I think the Hulk died a few times.
Are you sure? I thought he was impenetrable, invincible. But I could be wrong. I mean, yes, I remember he died when fucking an old. When
He was shot and killed.
Wolverine, he ate Wolverine, and then Wolverine fucking ripped him from the
On
inside.
the inside, yeah. That's one of the ones I remember. But he was, wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, he was shot and killed. He was killed by Hawkeye.
Who?
The Hulk?
Oh, as Bruce Banner?
Yeah, he killed him as Bruce Banner before he changed.
I thought it was.
Okay, so yeah, they retconned. It says they retconned him to be immortal, but it does not prohibit him from being able to die or at least be killed. He can die and has many times. It just doesn't stick.
dies in. He's never died in the main universe. He's always died in separate universes. Like that Wolverine was old. That was a separate universe with.
I just want to see. I just want them to do Storm. I'm so ready for them to do Storm.
Oh, that's why they're showing on the fucking roof. Hey, Z, leave him alone. Hey, come on, leave him alone. Go get some food. Hey, hey, hey. Good girl. Thank you. Thank you for protecting the house. He's doing his job, cleaning out the fucking gutters. Mike was supposed to do that. I guess he didn't want to do it. Sounds like Mike. Alright, time for dinner for you, huh?
Time for you to eat, little lady. She said, I know eat. I know that word. She said, I know eat. Girl, you ain't hear my hush.
What's the dinner? What? There you go. Get some dinner. Oh, you don't got peanut butter on it, so now you don't want it? You're so fucking spoiled. I mean, we won't know more until Wednesday, so.
Well, yeah, because I think, you know, with there being so few episodes left, like I feel like each episode is gonna be like that. It's gonna be a big reveals like each episode, because you only got 6 episodes and you got a lot of information to cover and a lot of shit you're trying to do in 6 episodes. So I think it's gonna be big reveals like that. Every week we'll be much farther along next week. I mean, after we see Wednesday's episode, we'll be much farther along in our theories and what we think or what we, you know, feel, because it has been a lot of information given up, even though it's only been 2 episodes, but it hasn't been the right information for us to draw the conclusions we're trying to draw. Because if they had, like, actually shown the timekeepers or hinted at them some way by now, I probably would believe them more to be a real thing. But the way they're being so subterfuge about it. Like,
Well, I think next episode, that's what she
nobody
knows where they're
knows
at
where
now.
they're at.
Well, she does.
But I don't think they really there.
We'll see.
I think that's just.
You think it's
I think
fodder?
it's a misdirect.
Yeah, I know.
We shall see though.
Yes, sir.